The light. Okay. I'm trying to find the light. Shadows on my face. Maybe I start making fake bruises like Amber did. I was thinking about that. I'm gonna make a video on kind of like the anatomy of a bruise, hickeys, bruises, cuts. They're all different. Thing is, I can't really show much of that. So I was thinking I'm probably gonna do it on my own face, um, left cheek, and I will show you how easy it is to fake a bruise. The reason I don't want to do it is because I don't want somebody to watch and be like, "Oh, this is how I can fake a bruise." But I guess this is like the nature of the beast on YouTube, so whatever. Not only how to make a bruise, but also, just to know where the face, where the what you have, what God gave you already, and you can just make, like, for example, I can make a bruise right now, right here, okay, right here, when the shadows are right here, and it's really not that hard. Um, it doesn't take much, and that's what I know, that what she presented as evidence is not, it doesn't work out like that. It doesn't, bruises don't do that. If they do, they do not disappear in 3 days. So anyway, I'm gonna make my next video is gonna be like, let's make a bruise. I don't think I've ever seen anybody on YouTube doing that. You can do, I mean, she can produce hickeys, bruises. It's really hard to produce. The girl Esme Bianco, the lady who's suing Manson, she's full of shit, and she's showing a picture of her back. Suppose it's her back, which I don't think is her back. Was supposed to be whip marks. That is really hard to prove. It's really hard to prove for him that he didn't do it, but it's also hard for her to prove that he did. That makes sense. Whip marks from whipping, flogging. I don't know how to do that, but I can tell you how to make a bruise. So right now, I'm just going to go back to how just the insanity of just her in general. How did she play? Not only she played Johnny, but she played everybody, including me. I used to believe her, and I know many people that actually believe her. People in California, we believe her for at least a whole year. I thought she was on the right until even before YouTube, it was busting out her, like, all her arguments down and blasting just videos on justice for Johnny and all that. I started thinking, because of the bruise, that was the first thing that I'm like, well, why I believe her? Why do I believe her? Because she's a woman, because we all happen to know here that Johnny had an alcohol problem, an addiction problem. That's why I believe her. Then I start doing my own research, and I start seeing that she has her own alcohol problem. She has her own mental things that she takes medication for. It's doctor. The doctor had her on Seroquel. Seroquel is a medication that is a mood stabilizer that is being given for people with like schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, and sometimes people that have really like big, not only anger, but also delusions and hearing voices and seeing things. Seroquel is a very strong drug, medication. I think the whole point of her trying to make it look like he's such a drug addict and he's such a drunkard, so she doesn't have to talk about her own deal. She not only takes medication for her depression, mood stabilizers, she self-harms. We know that. I do not want to talk about self-harming, but we know that she does, or she did. And then she tried to blame it on other people. And the medicine that she takes, Provigil, which is a type of an amphetamine salt. I know when I say the word amphetamine, it sounds like meth, which it is. It's meth on a pill. It's what they give people that have hyper disorders or narcolepsy. Like she said, she has narcolepsy. Now, I'm not going to go against what a doctor prescribes. So I'm going to take it at face value that she has narcolepsy, so she needs to take this Provigil, which is an amphetamine-based medication. Let's say she has that. And on the same token, she takes Seroquel. She takes Ambien, which is a sleeping medication. There's an audio of her offering Johnny Xanax, which is an anxiety medication for anxiety and panic attacks. So there's all these things that she takes, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with taking medication. But it's funny and disgusting, really, how she tries so hard to put all this on him and talk about cocaine and talk about weed and talk about the whiskey and the famous bottles of red wine that he was just growing out of his body. And just because she doesn't want to talk about herself. I mean, that's because she is what she is. And I'm not going to call her crazy because it's not that simple. But her personality disorder is one of them. I can't even say the name, but okay. She's a copycat. So what she's going to do is she's going to copy everything around her that she sees convenient for her case. As she stole Kate James, her ex-assistant, story of rape and something horrible that happened to that lady. She stole that story and made it her own. She stole Johnny's stories from his childhood and made it her own. She sees what is convenient for her and she makes it her own. And that's like pure copycat. Not only that, but like the way she looks, she copycats who she is with. Just like Evan Rocha would with Manson. These ladies do this, and instead of just going totally against Johnny Depp in this case or Manson, we're not thinking about what they do. I mean, was Manson ever arrested? Once, when he was in like between high school and college, I think. Was Amber Heard arrested? Yeah, once. Was Johnny ever arrested? No. Did anybody put a restraining on Johnny before? Nope. On Manson? Nope. I mean, there's a society made him look like a criminal after the Columbine shootings. Society made Johnny Depp seem like a drunk because he happened to be drunk a couple times on set. Society's doing that, not the cops and not the judge. Well, the judge did that in the UK, but it's going to be a completely different story in 2022. I really need to believe that it's going to be different. It's going to be different, especially now that we have so much stuff on her that we didn't have before. We have the fact that she did not donate the $7 million when the UK trial was happening. The judge was not presented with that. I mean, nobody knew. I had a feeling that she didn't donate anything, but nobody knew for sure. So now there's that. Now also there's the fact that she is been bullying people online. She's been making complaints so certain people get suspended from Twitter. All that stuff didn't happen until 2021. And there's also the most important part, I think, when we didn't have before, is a body cam footage from LAPD. We didn't have that until 2021. So if you just like count those three things right there, they're big. And they can go, the dogs. Yeah, the dogs are always the whole thing with the dogs was always shady. I mean, very low. Like, you can mess with yourself and hurt yourself, drink, whatever you want to do, but little animals like that, dogs or whatever it happens to be, in this case, they were dogs. And her lack of caring or her lack of common sense, not knowing where the dogs are just going to land, or she don't care unless all she cared about was that they were there when she got there. Even what Kevin Murphy said, it's going to take about 7 or 10 days. That is the procedure. Oh, no. She wanted the dogs to be there when she got there, so she could just walk around with her dog. That is a level of freaking like selfishness that is beyond. Just being, it's like just being bad to children or to animals. Completely innocent. They have no say. Those dogs have no say in what was happening to them. I don't know why animal control didn't take those dogs away from her. Animal control, not in Australia, but in LA where they live, because they will do that. They usually will just show up. I think nobody called it. You just literally have to call and say, let's say my neighbor has his pit bull on a cage. So I'll go like, yeah, well, my neighbor has a pit bull. Well, do you have pictures of that? Well, no, but I think he has his dog in a cage. Well, okay, well, you have to kind of like prove your point, especially here in California, because cops don't just show up for no reason. Um, so, and these people get so many complaints. If you call the police for an animal related thing, I know because I was with my ex-boyfriend in his truck, and we see this beautiful husky dog middle of nowhere in the neighborhood. We were up in the valley, which is kind of suburbia. This dog was beautiful, and but he had no color. So we're like, okay, well, I don't know. So he's super friendly. I opened the door just kind of just come out and see if he had anything on his neck that we can identify him. The dog jumps to me and then jumps into the truck on the passenger seat, make himself at home. We're like, oh my God. So then we go, what are we going to do? We went to the police station in town and we're like, well, we have this dog. It's not our dog, but the dog does not want to leave the car. The dog is sitting in the truck and he doesn't move. And he's a beast, big, that I'm not going to mess with. And they're like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. And where do they send you? They sent us to animal control. Animal control came. They look at the dog. If they saw if the dog was abused in any way, which is hard to tell, but and they took the dog away. Okay, so if somebody called animal control on Amber and Johnny for those little dogs, they would be taken away a long time ago, and that would be awesome. It would be bad for the dogs because they probably really attached to her, but it will be good to have that in print and as a proof of neglect. You know, when you start neglecting, you neglect animals, you neglect your husband, you abuse your husband, you abuse your ex-girlfriend, and you also neglect these dogs, that would be like such a bigger case, because it just shows character. Now, because 2020 is coming, it's not coming, but it will be here soon, like blank, and 2020 is going to be here. Virginia is going to come really soon. Now that we have body cam footage and we have the dog situation, and we have the $7 million that were not donated situation, I think that we got her. There's not much that she's going to be able to do. She's going to throw a tantrum. She's going to throw a tantrum and just act like a brat. And it's not going to work this time, I think. I'm pretty sure it's not going to work. It might take another trial for him to completely clear his name. Maybe it might take a couple of trials, but she's not going to have a leg to stand on anymore. Especially the judge is not going to like the fact that she lied to a children's hospital. That is just beyond, it's not like she said, well, she's going to give this, she's going to build this thing. No, she said she was going to give it to half and half. And the one half was to Los Angeles Children's Hospital. And I have a very close relationship with them because they performed surgery on my daughter. And it was a $20,000 surgery. We didn't pay for it. State did. So the fact that she not stole, but she didn't give those people what she said she was going to give them, and she only gave them $100,000, hurt me and hurt my heart, because that hospital is like the best hospital. And when you go there, you don't pay. You don't pay because it's funded by all these millionaire celebrities and people that donate. So $100,000 from Amber Heard in the Children's Hospital is a tip. It's nothing. It's what they spend in 1 week. So she might not even know that, but I know that because I was there, and I know that what they did for us was at least $20,000. So if the surgery of my daughter was $20,000 in the same hospital that she was going to donate, and she's donating only $100,000, it's very bad. It's bad. It's just bad. I mean, maybe people that don't live in the States or even in California don't know, but there's this misconception that if you don't have health insurance, you die on the street. No, you don't. No, you don't. Especially if you have children, you take them to the Los Angeles Children's Hospital, and they get the best care and the best surgeons and the best doctors. They treat children with cancer in the hospital. It makes me so mad that she that she didn't give them what she said she was going to give them. I mean, any hospital, any type of, she's so crooked and so corrupted. And so it will be bad if she didn't give it to the firefighters, or she didn't give it to anybody in general. But the fact that she didn't give the money to a children's hospital is, I don't know, has a soft spot in my heart, and a lot of people. It's just common sense. I mean, if you're gonna steal from somebody, don't steal from children. I mean, like, what the heck? So I'm gonna go pretty. I want to go over this thing. I have. What do I have? It's on 100. 150 because I can't see it. I want to go over. See, I'm not going to talk about the bruise because I want to go over to what Kevin Murphy said in court in 2019, and they dragged it to 2020. And I also want to go over to what Kate James said in court. This is just to like kind of look at her character and what she does. And she's good at what she does, by the way. I'm not saying I admire her or anything, but she's good. She could just give a class. And Alejandro Romero. This is another guy that witnessed ridiculous, awful things, and this also was in court in 2019 to 2020. There's so much, even without adding the dogs and the donations and all that. Now, right here, there's so much on paper that anybody can read it from the internet. It's out there. To convict her and to just ask her more questions than what she was asked. The judge in the UK was on some type of payroll, maybe Elon Musk, I don't know, but you only read Kevin Murphy and Romero, and you read Kate James, and you read Laura Delevingne. You only read those four, and even without looking at the bruises and without looking at poor Johnny's finger, and she sliced open, even without looking at that, you just read this, and it's such an obvious case that I would not want to be her lawyer, because this is like, it's going to be impossible for them now to defend her under all this. So this is from Alejandro Romero. Alejandro Romero of Los Angeles will say as follow. Okay, so then they have like one part that in each witness statement has the same little part in the beginning that they do with everybody. That just skip that. That what it is explains the person doesn't have the details or knows 100% of the situation. They put that there kind of like to cover the butt. So then they can say, whoa, I didn't know 100% of the situation. Okay, so that's on every witness statement, and that's the reason they do it. So Alejandro Romero says, I know Mr. John Christopher Depp to be a resident of the Eastern. Okay, this is this guy. I have never spoken with Mr. Depp in relation to his personal life, and I do know Mr. Depp outside of my duties for the Eastern, so they knew each other. I know Amber Heard to be a resident of Penthouse 3 of the Eastern. I saw Amber Heard at the Eastern for the first time in around July 2015, so this is way after the May 21st incident. I understand that she was not a resident of the Eastern until March. I frequently saw Amber Heard both in person and on security footage in the course of my duties. I have never spoken with Amber Heard in relationship to her personal life. My interactions with Amber Heard were limited to brief interactions about logistic matters of the apartment, including, for example, giving access to guests, blah, 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 blah. Skipping all that. But here, from March 2015 onwards, Amber Heard was visited regularly late at night, around 11 p.m. to midnight. It's a short little time to visit somebody, but by Mr. Elon Musk. For his initial visits, I will receive a call from Amber Heard, who will tell me to give Musk access to the garage. My gosh, she didn't even try to cover her, but like, even if she say like, get one of her girlfriends to make the phone call to get the garage, the remote control for the garage. No, not that smart. She called it herself. I'll receive a call from Amber Heard, who will tell me to give Mr. Musk access to the garage. After he had made a few visits, like a few, only 1 month he went there like only 15 times. So that's like 50% of the month. Amber, he had, after he had a few visits, Amber Heard provided Mr. Moss with his own remote control for the garage to the penthouse, which we know who pays the rent there. I believe he visited Mr. Heard a few times a week, and he will always be visiting when Mr. Depp was not at home. This guy knows because he was doing the night shift. When you do the night shift and you work from like 10 to 6 in the morning, you see who's coming and who's coming. There is no why this guy would be lying. For the people that said, oh, they lie because they are on Johnny's payroll, like assistants and whatever. This guy is not on Johnny's payroll. He works for the building, and he is on the building's payroll. So he really doesn't have any reason to go one side or the other. So he's not getting money for it. And this guy is interesting because this can be proven. It can be proven not only with the footage of the elevators, but also he has those messages from her saying, give him the remote control. There's phone calls from her to him, Alejandro Romero, which he was downstairs saying, let him in. I mean, that stuff, she's not going to be able to deny that is there. My duties of the Eastern included checking visitors, processing the mail, gift, blah, blah. My regular working hours are 4 p.m. to 1 a.m., okay, from Monday to Friday. However, I occasionally work overtimes with the garage gate malfunctions, and there is no one close to stay overnight. So sometimes he works overnight, so that's what he saw. Elon Musk going up and down, up and down. Otherwise, there's no 24-hour security on the site with the security on the elevators. I understand there's alleged to the defendant the Saturday, May 21st, that Mr. Depp committed a number of acts of domestic violence against Amber Heard. I'm aware that the police responded. I was not on duty at the front desk at any time of that place. So I wish he was, but he wasn't. But Trinity Sparsa was. And then the statement from Trinity Sparsa is hilarious. I mean, it's sad, but it's spot on. She said that she didn't see anything. Nothing out of the ordinary. On Wednesday, May 25th, I was working at the front desk of the Eastern Building during my regular working hours. Approximately 10:30 p.m., Amber Heard walked into the lobby, accompanied by Miss Raquel Pennington. I know Raquel Pennington to be a resident of Penthouse 1. We know who pays the rent, right? Amber Heard approached me to ask for the key to her unit, which I gave her. We did not discuss anything else at this time. Miss Heard stood approximately 3 feet away from me. Okay, this is on May 25th. This is 3 days after she said she got beat up. 3 feet away from me during the conversation. I did not notice any bruises, cuts, swelling, red marks, or any other injuries of any kind to her face. I'm reading this because when people say, oh, these people are getting paid by Johnny. No, this guy works in that building and he has his own salary. He's not getting paid by Johnny, nothing. So, yeah. 3 feet, that's pretty close. And the building has like the fluorescent lights. So that's pretty close. You can really totally see if a person is cut or bruised or bit or whatever. You will see it. You didn't see it because it didn't happen, because there was nothing to see. Following a conversation, Ms. Heard walked to the front of the lobby to make a phone call. She did not go outside during this time. Raquel Pennington and I discussed the dog. Raquel Pennington also mentioned that she thought that somebody had been trying to enter the units at penthouse level early that day, but did not receive who or any further information. Raquel Pennington appeared concerned by this. This was part of their plan because they wanted to change the locks on Johnny, of the place that he pays for. So Raquel Pennington saying to him, well, I'm kind of concerned about somebody trying to come in. It was all planned. There was no real concern. It was all planned so they could help changing the locks. And they put that little seed over there. Oh, maybe somebody might be going around, we need to change the locks. So bullshit, all of it. Following our conversation, Amber Heard walked to the front of the lobby to make a phone call. She did not go outside. Okay, I got that. Raquel Pennington appeared concerned by this. The whole, maybe we should change the locks, maybe. I would just say, do you, these people that work there, they can't have like this emotional attachment to people. They might like Johnny more than they like Amber, but they only doing the statements because they were subpoenaed to do the statements. But in real life, if you're not famous and you don't have a big case like this, it happens all the time. It happens all the time that people have to deal with you and they don't like your husband, they like you, or vice versa. And these things never come out. But when you are so high profile, she is so stupid that she didn't think that these people were going to talk. How dumb is that? When she was going around and talking to them really short, how dumb is that? That she thought that they were gonna not say anything? If you don't see bruises, you don't see bruises. Like, period. She was so stupid. I mean, what if she was smarter, what she should have done is maybe left the state or left the city or the state so that nobody will see her that week, so that nobody can say, hey, I saw her and there was nothing on her face. But she didn't do that. She stayed around. She went to the music festival. She was hanging out with Elon Musk. She was hanging out with James Franco. She stayed around. So when you stay around, people are going to see you and see that there's nothing. She was completely clean, perfect face as usual. So this guy says, I do not recall seeing Mr. Her on any other during the week commercial between 23rd and 2016. Or bruises or cuts or bites or anything, any kind, nothing. Okay, that's one guy. I mean, there's so many, but this is like why I'm reading is because they're the ones that are not on Johnny's payroll. Sean Bett. Okay. Oh, this is deputy. This is the police officer. I do not know the details about these proceedings. They always say that they don't know 100% of the details. Again, they have to say that to go with their butt, because this time they're making the statements, they don't know who's guilty, who's innocent, so they have to say that. That doesn't mean they're going on his side just because they're saying that. It's a disclaimer. So he says, I was with Mr. Depp and Miss Her very regularly through this period of time, and I never saw any cuts. He's talking about May 2015. Any cuts, bruises, or other injuries on her face. I also never saw Mr. Depp commit any kind of type of physical violence to another person. These letters are so small, my God. Indeed, when they were in LA together, I would see Mr. Depp and Mr. Hearst between 5 and 7 days a week. This guy was around them a lot. So had Amber Heard sustained any injuries during the time? I haven't seen nothing. I would have seen them. I bet I saw no injuries. So if you were with them 5 to 7 days a week and you didn't see it, it was not there. On the contrary, through the course of Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard relationship, Mrs. Heard was verbally and physically abusive towards Mr. Depp on many occasions. I witnessed her scream at him. I was also told by Mr. Depp himself on multiple occasions that Mrs. Heard had physically abused him. So Johnny told this guy straight up. Why he didn't call the cops, I don't know. There's that thing about calling the cops on a woman that I think people won't do that because they think they're not going to be believed, and probably they're not. It sucks, but that's probably why he didn't call anybody, even when Johnny said, hey, look, she did this and she did that. I wish somebody called, but nobody called the police on her, which is what should have happened. And this whole thing would just be completely twisted the good way, and she will be in jail by now. But I felt bad that nobody called. I mean, if somebody that you really trust and is your friend, co-worker, or friend, or whatever, and you trust the guy, you know him for like 11 years, 15 years, and he says, well, my wife beats me up and she does this and that, and you don't call 911, it's because, not because you think that she's on the right, or not because you don't care, but because you are. First of all, maybe you don't want to get involved because these people are so high profile, and also because you don't think you're going to be believed. I think that's why People don't call the cops on women. They think they're not going to be believed. I wish somebody did. I wish, because it would have changed so much of everything. So on the contrary, through the course of our relationship, okay, she was abusive, she was abusive towards him. A very common occurrence through the relationship will be that Mr. Depp will have me and other members of his security team take him away from her due to her behavior. He just needs security people to take him away from her. Like, my God, she's crazy. He will then stay somewhere else. The guy's paying the rent for everybody, but he goes have to stay somewhere else in a hotel because he is so worried that if he goes back, she's gonna cut his all the fingers. It's horrible. He will then stay somewhere else. This happens so many occasions that it's not possible for me to remember them at all. This happens so many occasions that it's not possible for me to remember them all. My God, that's a lot of occasions, isn't it? A lot of times that happen. However, I will describe as a recurring cycle that Ms. Hurt and abuse Mr. Depp, who will have to remove himself from the situation, and I have to remove him. This guy. Can you imagine to have that job? My God. So Miss Hurt often behaved in this way when she had been drinking. I learned quickly to recognize the signs so that we were able to leave the situation before it escalated further. I also knew that she could be violent toward Mr. Depp, so it was important that he did not remain in a situation with Mr. Hurt when she was in this kind of abusive mood. These guys knew for like at least 2 years that she was doing this, and they had to remove him every time. Why they didn't see anything else besides removing him? I don't know. Again, I just go on like maybe it was too embarrassing. Maybe Johnny was like, let's just keep it low key, and maybe they were afraid that they were not going to be believed. And that's probably the. And what sucks is they probably wouldn't be believed. But that sucks. Okay, April 2016. I remember driving Mr. Depp to a party. Yeah. Oh, the famous my birthday. You came late to my birthday, and I went crazy on you because I'm a little girl, and how dare you come late to my birthday? Freaking like you're turning like 32 years old or something, and your boyfriend, husband, or whoever is late for your birthday. It's like, what do you want? Do you want a lollipop or something? I mean, seriously, just deal with it. But she was in throwing a fit. This is the night that she threw a fit because he was late to her birthday. But this guy was driving him. Okay, so he knows firsthand. He had been at a business meeting and I was running late for the party, so I was driving him. Later on in the evening, I was called by Mr. Depp, and then I drove him home to another one of his properties. He had told me that Miss Hurt had sought to argue with him on the phone and had punched him, causing him to sustain visible injuries. I took a picture of the injury and it's in page. Oh, I know the one he's talking about. Is that one that Johnny's looking to the front of the camera and there's he has eyeliner on, but there's like a bruise here and a bruise here, I think. This guy's the person that took the picture. Bless his heart, he took the picture. Good. So, and again, Johnny's telling him, hey, this is what's happening to me. She drive me crazy. She's punching me, and nobody called the cops. Nobody did anything. He took a picture, but that's all. It's good, but I wish there was more than that. The following day, I received from Mr. Kevin Murphy, the Mr. Depp, then state manager, photos of human feces. Yeah, the day after her birthday, because she was not happy because he was late. Boo, she went and did the poop situation everybody knows about. I believe this was a result of the actions of Amber Heard. Yeah, nobody ever believed that it was a dog or it was some homeless person that walked in or some homeless dog that walked into your apartment and poop in his side of the bed, not on the whole bed, on his side. Yeah. So it got to the point that she wouldn't even try to deny it. Like I remember when this first started, and I was like, oh my God, that she went to the vet and bought poop or something. Like, but how can you do that? No, I mean, I didn't want to believe it. But believe it now, of course, after all this. But at the beginning, I didn't want to believe it. My brain is like, I do not comprehend how an adult woman can do that. How? On his side of the bed. So he's the one that took the picture of that too. I mean, this guy was on it. I mean, he's a security. He's a retired cop and a security guard for him, and a retired cop. So that makes a lot of sense. Maybe that's why he didn't call the cops, because he knew it was a waste of time. But he took pictures, so it's pretty cool. That's why we had the pictures of Johnny's bruises. Not pretty cool. I want to say it's cool that he had pictures with bruises on, but it's good. That's going to be good for 2022. I've been told by Clement's solicitors that, among other things, the defendant specifically alleged that Mr. Depp abused her. May 21st, I said of my recollection of the day before, this to not be true. This is what I do. My recollection. Okay, so in case something happens, then they can say, well, it was my recollection. But I totally believe this guy 100%. I mean, the fact that, yeah. And when he was in the car driving him to Penthouse 3 for her birthday party, and they were late, oh my God, he said that Johnny was not intoxicated, and they were sitting next to each other in a car, not intoxicated, but also he saw that she was trying to argue with him on the phone. So, I mean, what else do you want? I mean, it's all over the place. And the reason I'm reading all this again is because I like to read it again, but also to kind of get on the fact that it's not just about bruises. It's not just about cuts and where's the blood, and if the hair was pulled from here, how come the hair wasn't on the floor on this? I mean, I'm just basing it on what these people are saying about her, about Amber, and it's not even a reason to even look further than this. But I don't know, that judge in the UK needs to retire, or maybe he has to check himself to the doctor. Maybe he can go to a neurologist and see if he's okay in the head, because the fact that he read all this is information is out there. He read it all. He read it, and he still made the judgment he made. It's really, I'm going to research the guy and see what's up with him. I mean, we know where he's from. We know the name, but how was his life? What is his life now? Is he still working? Is somebody's paying for it? I mean, if you're just getting paid as a judge, which is a lot of money, they get paid a lot of money. Here in the UK, anywhere. That should not be an excuse for you to just have a blind eye of things. Just because you're getting a little bonus, a little tip from somebody called Elon Musk or from somebody else. You still should look at the truth and what you have in front of you, just like I am right now looking at it. How high this guy was on what, or pressure, or scared to tell the truth. I don't know what was the deal. I don't know what did he gain from it, from calling him a wife beater. I don't know, but it's never going to sit right with any of us. So I'm glad that it's happening in the States now, in Virginia, of all places, and it's going to happen with an American judge, and it's a woman, but she seems to be very straight up, like from what I read about her, and I don't think she's about bullshit at all. So that's the other one from Kate James that I wanted to read. Well, pretty much the story is that Amber Heard stole Kate James' trauma situation when she was raped in Brazil 20 years ago, and told Amber, hey, this happened to me. And Amber was like, ooh, story. Ooh, I can play the victim now. I can steal this story. That's one of the lowest, if not the lowest thing I think that she done. After not giving the money to the children's hospital is low, but stealing somebody's abuse, sexual abuse and rape story is just the lowest. I mean, I don't know how can you get lower than that. You can't. You just can't. So I'm going to I'm skipping. No, I'm not skipping anybody. This is the most important people here. Oh yeah, I got this guy. This was the cop. security guy, very important person in the case because he was right next to Johnny in the car when he was driving him to her birthday party, and he was not intoxicated. So that just shows more of her lack of character when she just sat there on the stand under oath and swore that he was intoxicated and that he was fighting with her. And he's saying that not only Johnny was intoxicated, but Johnny was trying not to argue, and that she was shouting on the phone. So that's in short what he that's what he said. So I am gonna play the good old audio. I know everybody listened to 100 times, me too, but because it kind of I have her a little bit here saying that she donated, which is that Miss Lady. So just listen to her face. My God, she's. I feel like she's a really bad actress in movies, but she's a good actress in life. And that makes sense. Like she's really good at what she does in life, but she is really bad actress in movies. She is. She's so fake and not believable. But in life, the way she's acting in real life is amazing acting. So this guy, it's a TV show either in Germany or France. It's not here and it's not in the UK. Oh, maybe some France, I don't know. And he's going like, well, what about your story? I'm so sorry you've been through that. But you're not in it for the money, right? You donated the money, right? And she is answering this.
All this, and then there was a divorce settlement. You got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money. But then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated.
My computer hates her. Oh, I didn't mean to minimize it. The heck? It got minimized for no reason. Curb your donation to dying children. This person who posted. It's amazing. Curb your donation to dying children.
People were saying this is all about the money. But then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was
donated to Children's Hospital. I don't know what's going on. And she's Cyprus. She is messing with she's a demon. She's messing with my computer. I like listen to this 100 times. Now I can't. Anyway, that's what she said. She said $7 million. And she's like closing her eyes and just like fluffing her. You know when somebody lies when they do that. When they do this whole like, it's like not even a body language expert. You don't have to be one. It's just so obvious. The body language, everything. Every interview she did for Aquaman and also for The Stand, the TV show that she was on, the miniseries, she was so inflicted. She was in so much pain. Like even talking was a chore. Everything was like, and because like I said, she's a good actress, a life actress. She's an actress of an everyday actress. Because when she's on set, she sucks. I mean, she looks beautiful on camera, but that's all she is. She's not a good actress. But how much she acts to her friends and how much she lied to her parents, to her mom, which she passed away, but it's horrible. So that is very interesting how you can be so bad at your job. And then when you do this type of narratives in your life, you are pretty good damn at it. Good. She's good. I hate that she's good, but she's good. But there's a couple mistakes that she made that I would say that, yeah, calling the cops when she told them to go, Raquel call the cops, that was a bad idea. Because if you never watch movies, you work in movies, but you never seen movies or documentaries that you see police officers going with their body cam. What did she thought that we're not going to bring it to her house because they're going to bring it, especially if there's a situation of violence. They're going to bring it. They come with it. These people, the cops are just, they bring it anyway. And it has to be something really, really dumb for them not to bring it. But the moment that somebody says, oh, this person is being held against their will or abused, or I hear somebody screaming, They don't take that as a joke in LA or everywhere, but especially here and especially with high profile people. Of course, they're gonna take the body cams with them. So why did she make that mistake? Why? Why did she make the mistake to get Raquel to call the cops? Why? That's something that I would have never have. I've never done that. It's ridiculous.
$7
And also
million in total
the
was
dogs
donated.
in Australia. Why did she make that mistake? Why she didn't want to do it the right way? How come she didn't think that doing it her ridiculous bratty way, be like, oh, I want them to be there when I get there. I want my dog to be there when I get there, so I can just do this and just get paparazzi take pictures of me with my dogs. She didn't care about the well-being of the dogs. And that is not only people saying it, we can say it, and witnesses saying, but it's also on paper. And there's emails of her to Kevin Murphy saying, well, there's only way that we can grease, she used that word. We can grease somebody to get the dog grease. We don't know what grease means. It's like, just like smooth the person out with cash. And there's emails of her asking for advice, but not because she cared about the dogs, but because she wanted to do it fast. Even when Kevin Murphy said to her, this is kind of not good, it's too shady to do, it's dangerous for the dogs, I don't want to do it, it's illegal. And then she said to Kevin Murphy on an email, well, you would not want to lose your job. Something like that. No, not something like that. That's pure gaslighting right there, what she did. And I'm glad that Kevin Murphy is probably one of the best witnesses against her and for Johnny that there is, because he has so many interactions with Johnny and with her, even if they were not in person, but on text and email, of her begging him to fix the dog situation, help me with the dog situation, that they have so much dirt on her just because of dogs. And that's something that the judge in the UK didn't know. He knew, but I don't think he knew the extent of this. Nobody knew until 2021 how bad the dog situation was and the donation situation was. So I think that it will be a good thing. We're interested in 2022, see what happens with all this. I mean, if they still give a blunt eye and the judge doesn't see what we see, then I don't know, can't trust in the system anymore on anything. I already don't. As it is, I do have that. I have that in my mind. Why nobody called 911 on her? Probably they said, oh, you want us to call? And probably Johnny, knowing how peaceful he is and how he wants to maintain the peace and how low-key he is, or he wants to be, now he's not anymore because of her. I can see him saying, no, let's just, no, don't call anybody. We'll figure it out. She will calm down after she takes her pills. We'll figure it out. So next time that anybody's in that type of situation, you call the cops. You don't think the person is going to calm down, because if you call the cops, you cover your butt first. And even when they show up, you can say, well, you don't have to. Actually, you're not forced to even talk to the cops. But if somebody calls them and somebody says, well, this guy just told me that his wife beat him up, that's it. Just call. Because then you will have something. And don't think because you're a man, you're not going to be believed. I mean, I will believe you. And a lot of people like me will believe you. That's for sure, especially after this. Because I'm usually talking about Manson. I've been talking about Manson for days. Because I feel like the Manson girls are following the Amber Heard tutorial pretty much. But they're exaggerating it more. And there's like 12 of them. Because Manson is, I'm not saying Manson is more famous than Johnny. Johnny is bigger than Manson. But Manson is so out there and everything he does is so dramatic and so shocking. So, of course, it's going to be at least 12 or 13 or 15 girls saying the same crap and reading the same script. Yeah, I'll go on Manson next in a little bit. After I figured out how to, gotta have that clip of her saying that she did donate it. And it's hilarious that she went, Did she ever sit down with Oprah on an interview? I wonder if she did. If she did, she's going. She didn't do it, she's going to do it. She was on the cover of People's Magazine. I'm never going to buy People magazines ever again. I don't care. They put her on the cover back in the day with the bruises, and they put this person. Her name is Ashley Morgan, which she wouldn't be nobody if it wasn't for Manson's case. And they were together for like 2 weeks, I think, or 1 week. That's not a relationship, girl. That's a hookup, but whatever. And she's also on the cover of People's Magazine last week. So I'm not buying that crap ever again. I mean, that is not journalism. You're just going to put anybody in the cover, anybody that shows up with a bruise without even seeing a doctor's explain a note, the doctor, something on it. And then with the Manson thing, it's not even bruises. It's just believing the girls have face value. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I do hope that maybe at the end of all this, eventually, more people there are being abused and they're scared to call the police. More people do it for the right reasons, not with fake bruises, and more men do it, and more boys do it. Little boys get as abused as little girls do, and that is statistics. That's saying the men get abused more than women is a lie. They don't. But little boys get abused as much as little girls. So they're growing up, and they're going to grow up to either they're going to keep getting abused or they're going to become abusers. So this is a circle of violence and abuse that is not going to break, and it's not going to be over with if you don't do what you have to do and call. If you see something, everybody says, if you see something, say something. I'm going to make the bruise video. It's going to be fun. It's kind of triggering for some people, I guess, to see bruises, but it's going to be fake. So I'll wash my face right after, and you will see how easy it is to make one, especially on the face. Oh my God, so easy. It's so easy. And I don't know how Amber had a professional makeup artist with her all the time for like 5 years. So I don't know if she did it herself or the makeup artist help her out, but anybody can, and that's scary. You can go on Pinterest, YouTube, or just Google hickey marks and whatever, and you get it. You take a screenshot, which what the Manson girls are doing, and be like, this is what he did to me. He whipped my back with a whip, and you just get a picture from anywhere. How do we know? There's no, I like facts. I don't like feelings, opinions, intuition, or have a gut feeling that Manson is an idiot or is an asshole. I gotta have a gut feeling that he did it. No. That's the problem. That I was going with my gut feeling about Amber a couple years ago, and I was wrong. So at least I said it. I have the courage to say it, but I believe her. I believe her, and I was wrong. So my intuition or my gut feeling about believing her, and I was kind of anti-Johnny, completely messed up with my head, because she was being the liar and she was being the abuser. So this is why we can't make judgments based on our intuition, or based on if we like the guy wears makeup on his face, or the guy drinks a lot. We cannot make judgments based on that. And there is no facts. Feelings are not facts. Revenge, whatever, you got ghosted, you're mad, you're pissed off because you're not getting enough money or your settlement. Feelings are not facts. Okay, if you have to get a doctor notice, police officers, security guy like Johnny, he got his security guy to testify. And people like that have some type of power. It cannot just be believed just because you say so. Yeah, this is red. Is it? Maybe it's not. Why would it be? Because I'm saying it? Or because you're looking at it? But it's so easy to fake things. There's filters these days, not even the Instagram filters, the Photoshop filters, Instagram filters. There's professional things you can do. You don't even have to have a camera. Just with an iPhone, so many filters and so many ways you can make a person look more pale. You can make a person look like they were crying all day. It's not that hard. And that's what I'm going to make. Next video is going to be a bruise video. Bruises. Like, where's a good spot? What is a good spot? I think this is always a good spot for women because there's always a bit of a shadow. You know, how horrible under circles, because I woke up at 5 a.m. to go to work. But anyway, even if you don't have this that I have, that is bad, not a bruise. This is from not sleeping well. Whatever the light hits, you go like, oh, where the light hit. This is what she did. This is exactly what she did. I think this is exactly what she did. She was once looking at herself in the mirror, which probably she does a lot, and she was like, the light hits. The light is hitting right here. I can make a bruise there. Oh, I can make a bruise here. This little bump. It's so easy here. This little bump, which is normal because the noses have bumps. It's so easy. And the cut and the lip, the cut thing, I don't know if it was this way or her lip. You do that to yourself. You do that for like a little bit, 10 minutes every hour. You do that 5 times a day. Just do that. You will create a cut on your lip. It's not rocket science. I don't know how people fall for it so much. I fell for it, but I'm glad that I don't anymore. And I'm so glad there's so many cool people on YouTube that are doing really cool things to just to debunk her and show her real colors and who she is. And not because we don't like her. It's not about liking. It's about what's right and what's wrong. It's not about being a fan. I'm not a fanatic of Manson. I'm not a fanatic of Johnny. I didn't even get Manson's. I didn't buy his last 3 CDs, 3 albums. Don't matter. You can't judge people for what they look like, or what's your gut feeling about it, or I have the intuition that he did it, or I got the feeling that he did it. A lot of people, I don't know what's going on with people just basing everything on that. Oh, I have this feeling that he's guilty. No, is it innocent until proven guilty? Well, there you go. So, oh my God, for an hour talking nonsense in here. Not any more coffee, so I don't have the big circles anymore that I can turn into a bruise any minute. Anyway, I'll be back in a little bit.